Good evening, one, all, and everybody else. I'm Brandon Bridges, and this is a special B Squared Live. We have basically an all-star lineup for you tonight. Oh, and I'm here too. And this is going to be a great show. This is going to be a great show with a capital G. I had to restrain myself from doing my Tony the Tiger impression. Be grateful that I showed some self-control for a change. So tonight we have 3 cool law enforcement people with us, and we also have a legal expert and jurist, and of course we have the handsome and epically great at what he does, Kfar. So Blue Bear, how about you?
Well, I'm an active law enforcement officer. I've got over 5 years experience. I'm also a detective, second generation law enforcement. So it's been in my family for a very long time, and I've been around it for a very long time.
Well, we thank you very sincerely for your service. I'm looking at the chat now because I've actually got my life in order, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying thanks to everyone for your service. But I will echo that. Thank you very much for what you do. And just to make it official, B Squared absolutely supports law enforcement and those who do it. So this is absolutely a Leo-friendly channel, and I expect that all of our panel members tonight will get treated with respect. So with that said, moderators in the chat, if you see any crass comments, or legitimate criticism is one thing, but if you see crass comments or just insults and nonsense, just push people out. You know, I want people to not regret that they came here tonight. So, but to people that have made mistakes and have straightened their lives out and want to pursue a career in law enforcement, I mean, what would you guys say?
I would say be very careful in your decision, because the status of law enforcement today in this nation is there's been, I think, I was just reading the stat the other day, I think there's been 33 police officers killed in the first 6 months of this year. So I would say you have to be very careful. You have to be someone who can do the job. You have to think quick on your feet. You have to depend on your partners. You have to be a team player. But I would say, yeah, be very careful before picking a career in law enforcement.
And just real fast, Brandon, if you don't care if I chime in on that.
Not at all.
Just to refer back to his original comment, I'm going to tell you something. I'm embarrassed by the way those guys acted in Texas. As a captain, as a shift commander, I can guarantee you my men better damn well not act that way. But just because those guys did, don't hold that against the rest of us that won't. Because I can promise you, if there's babies in that school and somebody's trying to hurt them, I'll drive the car to the front damn window to get in there if I have to. I mean, that's the way that we are, and that's the way that every police officer that I've ever worked with would be. So by all means, please don't judge the rest of us by that, because that would not happen in Ironton. I promise you with everything.
No, it wouldn't happen in my jurisdiction either.
Wow.
Yeah, and that
I could tell you from a Southern Ohio standpoint, that with those guys, and I seen somebody in the chat, I don't remember who it was, that said, "What about my brotherhood?" Those guys are not my damn brothers. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the way that I feel about it. And around here, should our guys do that, they would probably get a good country ass whooping for doing that after it was over too, if not go to jail, because that's ridiculous. I can't imagine what happened at that it goes through your mind to be able to say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait and let some civilians go in and do this." I'm sorry. I'm getting frustrated when I think about that. So ridiculous.
They were scared, and you can't be scared in this job. Yeah, I think just the 33 police officers killed in the first 6 months of this year. So I would say you have to be very careful.
Captain Chad, I just want to point out the person who made that comment about the Brotherhood is a known troll. So don't take anything you see from him seriously. It's basically just a tantrum. Blue Bear, you have been... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it doesn't bother me. I just wanted to. I like when those opportunities come up that I can be able to feed into the troll a little bit, give you a little Shrek diet there, because the truth of it is,
the example we had and didn't know we needed.
because the reality is, I like giving you a little bite of your medicine because you thought you were going to back us into a corner, myself, Chief, and Blue Bear, and KFAR, whoever else, by saying that stuff. But what you don't want to hear is the fact that when, God forbid, somebody's babies are in there, we're probably going to get shot going in there to try to do the best that we can to keep them from getting hurt.
Absolutely.
Do I agree with what happened? Absolutely not. You know, those guys should hang their heads and never do law enforcement again in their life.
I agree.
I know I would put my life on the
Absolutely.
line to save some children, and me and this guy, that shooter, would have gone toe to toe. And one of us would have left in
Absolutely.
a body bag, if not both of us.
Jennifer, do me a favor and put our troll commenter in timeout for a few minutes, would you please?
Oh, I'm having fun with them, bud. I'm trying to moderate from in the chat. You know how
Well,
I
let
some-
KFAR have his fun.
All right.
Let KFAR have his Shrek.
All right, Jennifer,
You know
belay
what?
that. Jennifer,
Let
belay
KFAR
that.
play with him.
Jennifer, belay that. I'm all about people having fun here. Yeah, and it is something that does merit a lot of thought. I can't emphasize that enough, because the example that was given earlier, what KFAR?
Oh, so this is going to be weird. So everybody has experience in the field, where I'm my situation. If you guys didn't know, there's my degree. I'm one class short of a second degree in Homeland Security on top of criminal justice. I did 4 years in the military. I've got 2 years working back of house of a police station, and I just have a bunch of applications for a bunch of police departments in Michigan. Now, if I was in Ohio, I would go apply in Ironton like 20 minutes ago. But this is the kind of stuff that I have to think about like on the daily, because I'm only 31. I'm not trying to say I'm obviously athletic enough, in shape enough to do all the physical tests, but it's like I've already done it to try to get into where I was in Michigan. And then we moved up, and I just kind of had to fall back and be a stay-at-home dad. So now I've got all these applications filled out, and I'm thinking, should I try to go into policing? So like everything you guys are saying, I'm just like, it's hitting different for me because I'm the person trying to get hired. Now I don't have the criminal record. I've got 3 speeding tickets, I think, my whole life, and that's it. But yeah, it's weird hearing it from this end.
KFAR, we're sorry, but speeding tickets are going to disqualify you from a career in law enforcement. Law enforcement officers cannot drive quickly, not even in emergency situations. You have to obey the speed limit.
I'm sorry, but we're not driving, we're traveling.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Right on, Chief. What'd you say, Diana?
I was going to say is I've traveled in different states. I've traveled across the country and in the state with officers, and it's terrifying. We had a conference in Tahoe one time, and there's actually an attorney, Will Aitchison, and he does a law enforcement officers rights school, and it's super good. He was there in one of the troopers was driving the rental car up the mountain, and I know it was over 100 miles an hour. I thought, whoa.
What has been the impact, as far as you guys are concerned, of the defund the police movement? And I'll note that thankfully we're starting to see those policies getting reversed in a lot of places, and they're saying fund the police, which is exactly what should happen. I mean, what do you guys have to say on this?
Captain Chad, go ahead.
I'll tell you, and this really started once again at Ferguson a few years back. That's when we really kind of seen all this happen. And then again, we've seen it after the idiot up at what was his name up in Minneapolis that had no right to be in my job. But the problem is, and it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of working itself out, because as we see these municipalities and counties or whoever it may be that actually really do try to adopt these policies, it's a huge disaster, and it's proven to be everywhere it's ever happened. It's nonsense. You know, I seen something in the chat, and I'm glad that we actually went into this, because I seen something in the chat a minute ago, and I think it was from Shrek again. But it was somebody like the police don't have an existence. So I'm guessing that he's probably a super, you know, I'm not going to say a sovereign citizen, but let's say he's probably a super guy on liberty. Okay. So I want to hear, and if he's still in the chat, I would like to hear his response on this. How do you guarantee freedom without police? How do you guarantee true constitutional, as a constitutional republic, how do you guarantee perfect freedom for everybody without police? Because I can tell you this, if we don't have somebody to enforce the laws to guarantee freedom, we have anarchy, and we return right back to an empire, because only the strong survive and they rise to the top. So you have to have police. And if you don't fund them, you're going to be understaffed, and then it makes even more room for bad judgment.
But this is your topic, so what do you want to tell us about it?
Well, the defund the police movement, I think the main topic, the point that I would like to make about it is it's being brought about by people, the powers that be, that are in control of certain offices. Let me give you an example. The New York City Police Department took a $1 billion budget cut. Now let's just think about that for a minute. The largest police department in the world took, well, not in the world, but at least in America, took a $1 billion budget cut. So that takes away a lot of resources. Patrol, it takes fuel to roll patrol cars. It takes money to pay overtime. It takes money to investigate crimes. It takes money to prosecute, to court case preparation, all that. If you take $1 billion off of New York City's budget, just the police department alone, now skyrocketing crime is their problem, because they've had two things happen after the defund of the New York City police movement. They had a major exodus of guys coming up on retirement or even half retirement, and they said, I'm getting out now. I can see where this ship is heading. I'm jumping ship. And then they had a lot of mid guys that weren't even in retirement range, leave because they could see where this was going. And they have such a problem trying to recruit cadets for the police academy. The defund the police movement has effectively crippled law enforcement in New York City. I mean, at least in that one instance. And it's not just that. It's Atlanta. It's Chicago. We can all see the crime rate in Chicago.
I think maybe we lost him again. But there is an aspect to what Chief just described that I think might bear discussion among our experts. So the best metaphor I know to use is air circulation patterns. So like right now, I have a fan directly above me, and there are vents in this room. When my HVAC system is running, it sets up a certain airflow through this room and through this apartment. When any of those systems get turned off for any appreciable amount of time, obviously you get dead air. And it takes a while once I turn the fan on or once I turn the HVAC back on for those flow patterns to get restored. And in the same way, when you have a police department or any organization, really, yeah, we lost him on, but when you have an organization that's humming along under normal day-to-day operations, and all of a sudden, like Chief said, you yank $1 billion in funding out from under them, it disrupts their battle rhythm. And even if the next day you get them right back up to where they were, it takes a while to get that battle rhythm back, especially if they have an influx of new people. So what do you guys think?
Simply because we went from getting 50 applications for one spot to 5 for one spot, and nobody wanted to work, and the people that did want to work didn't exactly. We have the M-Coals in Michigan. I'm assuming you have something similar in Ohio. They just weren't good. Like the test that they had to take, they scored low, and those were the people that were applying. So Yeah, I forgot what it was. It was like 42% or 43%. Brandon, I forgot what the percent was. That was just up for the comment because
I think he said 42.
Yeah. So we were down out of our like 50 or 60 officers. We were down almost.
Yeah, Brandon, I want to address something real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all,
Someone is
Who's
echoing.
echoing?
not on my end.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead, Captain Chad.
Okay, first of all, Jennifer actually owes me some royalty rights because she used Shrek after that. I want $1 for every time you use that. And to the weed lord guy, and he's talking about abolishing police, and he says, "Hey, police don't solve crimes." Dude, do you eat crayons? I mean, seriously, like, what the hell do you think we do?
It's like a
He's
whole.
eating lead paint chips.
What'd you say, Chief?
He's eating lead paint chips.
I mean, seriously, what do you think we do? I mean, by definition, we go out, we maintain and preserve public peace, and we solve crimes. Oh, God.
He sounds.
Anyway,
like
so I'm sorry, guys. I have a little technical difficulty there. I got bumped off my internet for a second, so.
It's all right. It's not a real YouTube experience unless there's some form of technical difficulty. And for anyone out there who's familiar with some of KFAR and my cohorts, I regret that our technical difficulties aren't as entertaining as, say, Artie's might be.
Our monitors haven't gone down for the entire stream.
No, they haven't. And until that happens, see, Artie can at least blame Winston and Archer, his cats, but that just makes it funnier to me. But see, Artie, don't you wish you were here to defend yourself? Oh, me.
I would like to add something about the age requirement for the older officers, because again, thinking outside the box, a lot of the older officers, that may not be able to meet the physical fitness requirements, or maybe there are retirement restrictions or other things that have to do with the age. But older officers are problem solvers with their experience. And so that would just be one less for unusual situations.
Chief, I think maybe we're getting some feedback from your speakers.
I'll mute it for a second. I'll take care of that.
Okay, thanks, sir. Blue Bear, you got anything?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty much been covered. Hey, Chief, can you mute? There we go. We've seen what's happened with the defund the police. The bigger cities are now reversing course, and they have realized that they made a terrible mistake.
Oh yeah, and it's stunning. It's stunning to me that if only there had been some indication, some way to divine that less law enforcement equals more chaos, more crime. I mean,
there's an old saying, and I'm sure that Blue Bear and Captain Chad will agree with me. There's an old saying for us old guys: everybody loves a fireman, everybody hates a cop.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, we love cops.
And we love fire departments too, even though we love cops, and we also love fire departments. We also love fire departments too, even though cops and fire departments don't always see eye to eye.
Well, there's a great line in the movie Departed when they're talking about the fire guys. They're like, they're homos.
Hey, real quick, gang. I think Diana's got to hop off, but Diana, before you go, I wanted to make sure I said a sincere thanks for joining us, and a sincere thanks for all of your perspectives and inputs tonight. Pending your availability, we would love to have you back for another stream down the line.
Well, thank you. It's hard for me to hear. It's echoing. Chief, I think if you could, thank you. I just want to tell everybody thank you, and thank you, Brandon, for having me. Sure, I'll come back. I had great fun. It was nice talking with all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll figure out the details for next time.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Have
ma'am.
a good evening, everybody.
You too. Good night, Diana.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Cool. Which brings us to Kfar. This one's all you. I'm going to tee this up, and I'm going to use your favorite word. So anyone out there who's offended by profanity, cover your ears. But so what I have in my notes is the impact of the pandemic on fuck shit and the people who do it, and fuck shit doers. So with that said, Kfar, take it away.